Bengals week continuing here as the Browns will open their AFC North schedule on Sunday, but the big news today actually doesn't have anything to do with the Bengals game. It has to do with the Browns making the decision that they are going to move forward with trying to build a dome about 10 minutes that way in Brook Park. So Mary Kay, the lakefront, whatever they were working on with the city of Cleveland, it did not work out, and the Browns are full steam ahead now on getting a dome built right up the road here from their facility.
They really are. This has been a long time coming. They finally announced their decision today. First, Mayor Bibb had a press conference to say that they had informed him of it, and then the Browns put a statement out on their website and social media to explain exactly what they're doing. They think this can be transformative for the region, but of course the city of Cleveland feels like it will be detrimental to the great city of Cleveland. So this is big news today. A new stadium coming in Brook Park, a dome that will be used year-round, but also the end of the Lakefront Stadium.
Now, Mayor Bibb didn't completely slam the door on maybe the Browns coming back and trying to make this work in Cleveland, but everything has pointed to this, Ashley. It always felt like this was somewhat inevitable, and now here we are. It doesn't seem like the Browns, unless something crazy happened, would turn back to the city of Cleveland.
Yeah, I guess we'll see, right? Because unexpected things can happen. Obviously, these plans take a ton of time, but I do think what happened today is the Haslam Sports Group, the Browns, made it clear what their intentions are currently. Obviously, a couple months ago, they released the renderings for a Brook Park Stadium and what that would look like. So that's where we're at now. It is, I think, the biggest news with this team, and it kind of just shows you where the Browns are with their current on-the-field product, because in the statement the Haslam's released, they even referenced this season not going according to plan so far at 1-5. But I think because the Browns haven't had much success, this by default becomes the biggest story. I think it'd probably be the biggest story regardless, but much more attention will now be on the future of the stadium.
Okay, well, let's focus on the field here, though, and let's talk about Jim Schwartz, who today, look, he did this last year with his defensive line, Mary Kay, and today he called out his secondary, who did not play very well against the Eagles. They've been giving up big plays. He talked about their technique. He talked about raising the expectations for a group that he thinks is the best in the league. So Jim Schwartz did not mince words when he sat at that podium today and called out his guys in the back end of his defense.
That's right. He expects better from them. He plans to get better from them, but that's not going to be easy on Sunday against the Bengals because, of course, the Browns are facing Joe Burrow, who is first in the NFL with a 110.3 quarterback rating. He's thrown 12 touchdowns against only 2 interceptions. He's playing really well. He's getting the ball out very quickly. This is going to be a very big challenge, but Jim Schwartz has about had it with these cornerbacks and the play. They don't even have an interception this season. They've dropped a bunch, and he needs them to step it up.
And, defensive backs coach, cornerbacks coach Brandon Lynch always calls them the tip of the spear. And while, that pass rush is the engine, they kind of drive this thing. Ashley, part of Jim Schwartz's scheme is so reliant on his corners being able to handle those man-to-man assignments.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because what's the other phrase we hear besides tip of the spear? It's rush and coverage working together. And so far, I don't think we've gotten that from this defense. I don't think Jim Schwartz believes that. I think it was a smart strategy when he did it last year, called out his D-line for not getting any sacks in 2 straight games out in Denver and LA in the 2023 season. So I have faith that this could potentially work, mainly because, as Mary Kay said, they only have 1 interception as a team right now. It's from linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. There's room to grow with this defense still.
Now, here's something we've said a lot this year. The offensive line may be getting healthier. Jack Conklin was back, of course, at right tackle against Philadelphia. But it seems like Ethan Posick is trending the right way, Mary Kay. The center was back at practice today, coming off of that knee injury. Of course, the Browns are already shorthanded at center. They lost backup center Nick Harris in that game, the 3rd snap of that game on Sunday in Philly, and had to turn to Michael Dunn. So if Ethan can get out there and play, that would allow Michael Dunn to move back over to right guard, and it would sort of stabilize that offensive line a little.
It really would. They really need Ethan Posick this game. Otherwise, they might be looking at starting Michael Dunn at center and having him play the whole game like he played most of the game last week, and that really kind of weakens the line. If you have Ethan back in there, and now you've got Jack, knocking off the rust last week and starting his second game at right tackle. And then you've got Michael Dunn at guard, Ethan in the middle, and then you're okay on the other side of the line, of course, with Joel Bitonio and Jed Wills. That's a pretty darn good line. So that's what they need. They need to be able to protect the embattled and most in the NFL sacked Deshaun Watson.
And of course, it's important this week because even though that Bengals defense has struggled, Trey Hendrickson's still one of the best pass rushers in football. And of course, the Bengals had both of their starting tackles back last week for the first time in a couple weeks. And Ashley, you could see the difference batting footballs, creating pressure up the middle. So you're facing a Bengals front that's getting healthier.
Yeah, they're basically at full strength. Things are starting to come together for them. So I don't think you want to be in a position, if you're the Browns, where the interior of your line is compromised once again, because if they need Michael Dunn to start at center again, Zach Zinner is probably starting at right guard. We know he's struggled. I think they're in much better shape if they get a veteran backup in Michael Dunn at that guard spot. Obviously, their starter back in Ethan Posick, and who knows, maybe they could go back to using Zach Zinner in that muscle tight end role a little bit if they wanted to mess around with that. I don't know how much they will because of the depth and injuries on the offensive line, but it is an idea.
Okay, we'll have full coverage of everything that happened here today, including the latest on the stadium and the potential move to Brook Park. It's all at cleveland.com/Browns.